Hey, storytellers, storytelling run. Wow, I gotta talk about this episode we did last night. It was harrowing. Grievous wounds, miracle healing, like near death. I just spoiled it. But I want to talk about this because Grievous wounds is a really fun part of this. I love tooting my own horn here, but I love the system because I was even talking to Nick last night about it. That you can have these high level characters in my game, and it's still you're still in it. You're still in it. It's still harrowing. No, you don't get. He's been playing. My mic fell. He's been playing for a long time. I kept keeping the music going too. He's been playing his character for almost 50 episodes of our Christian Space, and he's like his character's been there the longest. His and one or two of the others. But when a new player comes in, they're kind of, not equal, but they can still be in the same thing and encounter the same stuff and still feel threatened. That's what's awesome. But his character certainly has a lot more skills and things he can do, but he's still mortal. He's not like some superhero. All right, so this is like a dungeon crawl I've been doing. I've been sort of play testing and developing and wanting to have a dungeon crawl for Christian role-playing game that is kind of, an amalgam of history and myth and lore and pushing the boundaries a bit of, what's real, but also keeping it in the vein of like what really kind of happened and how Christians had to confront paganism and what they do and how they devolve into these different little cults and human sacrificing cults and human slaving cults. And I don't want to whitewash that, with role-playing games today seem to whitewash that and make their villains all very cartoony. I mean, it's cartoony, but I want to remind people of and players and kids of what paganism is, because paganism is a renaissance today. The witches have declared that they're renaissance. They're all in the shows and preaching and stuff. And I say, well, here's what it looks like if paganism wins. If you allow witches in the culture to be so happy-dappy and permeating it all, and Christians have to back off. My game represents that in the 6th, 7th century Italy. And paganism has never gone away. It's just, kind of ebb and up and down flows. Anyway, harrowing little thing here. I want to describe it. It's on the episode 29, Dark Ages in the Christians in Space series, because it was a one-shot of the Christians in Space players. So these guys come in this thing, and this troll right here actually attacks him, charges, and actually he called me on it. I said, I'm going to give him a charge bonus. And it was funny, Louis said, well, does he have it in his stats? And I don't have it in there. And I was like, no. So, okay. So I had to realize, okay, let me stick with what I say. If I don't, for me as a GM, if I don't have it already written down here, I don't throw in extra abilities, give them extra abilities. If I don't actually write it down in the stats, I gave them all, these the different weapons they have based on the token. But if I don't have any, the only ability I have here is this fear, based on their bulky cosplay costume there. That makes him look like a big giant troll. So I took that out, but he charged him and just ran the spear, and I rolled a nat 20. So I have a D4 there here on the side, but I took that off. That was for the charge bonus, but I took that off. I'm like, okay, he doesn't have it, but it was still a nat 20. So then I rolled the damage, which was 2d8, double damage. I rolled maximum 16. He took 16. Now, in the new rules or the updated rules, it should be in all the books now. Based on the amount of damage, that's how many grievous wounds you get, and it's the same principle as the die rank result. Whatever he had to roll over whatever damage he inflicted, vitality wise, hit points onto Vincenzo, whatever the bad guy, the troll guard, did onto Vincenzo, which was 16 minus Vincenzo's armor save. So Vincenzo had pretty good armor, D12 right here. He rolled a 1. So we're doing like maximums and minimums here, and the maximums are on my side and the minimums on their side. So it's like, whoa. He rolled an armor save of 1, so the damage he was taking was 15 hit points. And that's a lot. That'll kill most people in my game. But thankfully he had like 21 vitality. And it's going to be hard for him to get that up to... You can't get that up to 80. I mean, you can, but it'll take forever. That's what I love about this. You can play your character for so long, and you're still going to be in it. You're still going to be fearful of regular minions and cult warriors attacking you, and giant rats or whatever that you were at the beginning. It's still dangerous. So, I rolled an at 20. I took maximum damage. He rolled a minimum armor save. He took 15, so that he should be dead. Okay. But here's some cool things that I love about the way this worked out. So he's taking 15 hit points of damage. Half of that, which is how you do a die rank result, is 7. Remainder 1, but 7. 7 die ranks of Grievous wounds. So what's 7 die ranks of Grievous wounds? That's a person can only take 5 die ranks of Grievous wounds. The 6th, they're dead. Anyone, any human being. I could change that for creatures or whatever, but for humans, past 6 or past 5, you're dead. A die rank is, in case you're not a player or someone who understands the rules, is D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and then it can go into a dice pool. But he took 7 die ranks, so that's a D12, minus D12 for anything he does, and then 2 left over is minus D6, whatever. I'm just trying to equate that out for you so you understand it. So he's got 7 die ranks of death. So he's dead, right? Well, we have options here, and that's what's cool about this. He can transfer some of these die ranks into his armor save, so wear and tear of his armor. You can transfer some of these into that so that the armor absorbs that Grievous wound. It takes the wear and tear out of that. So, and he has a helm. If he had, and I say it in the game too when we played it out, I thought he had a great helm, or I thought his helm could negate the entire 1 hit of Grievous wounds, but he can only do that with a great helm or a shield. He could sacrifice them as they get damaged and they're useless now. He has to throw them off, and that absorbs the entire Grievous wounds. He still takes the 15 vitality, but those could absorb. But he doesn't have either of those. He had a regular helm, and so that doesn't. He can't use it for to sacrifice it for to do that. So yeah, what does he do? So he still has an armor of D12. He can now transfer some of that 7 die ranks into the armor of D12. D12 is a 5 die rank thing, so he can take up to 5 of the Grievous wound and then destroy his armor, and he has 2 left over, and that would be his wound. But if he did that, he would have no armor left, and he's has to throw the armor is destroyed and falling off or whatever, and the troll guard can now just pierce his exposed flesh. So he was really didn't want to do that, and I mean this was like a harrowing situation where I'm like, whoa, this is he could actually die, or if not right now, within the next couple of turns. But let's not forget, we have a nun and a monk or priest here. She has Miracle of Healing. So whatever he does, she can get Miracle Healing and heal his Grievous wounds, negate it, and he could heal the vitality. So it was just really great that in this harrowing situation, everyone had to come into the play to save him. As they're being attacked too. There's 2 crossbow guys coming up. So, and these slaves are running off. So it was just like, whoa, what do you do? So he ended up taking the 5 Grievous wounds. He transferred 2 to his armor. So he's still in a horrible situation. His armor now is reduced down to a D8, and it's got 2 damage things. And armor, if it goes beyond 5 die ranks, or if it goes to 0 in its armor saves, it's just utterly destroyed and not repairable at all. But it went down 2 die ranks. So he's got a D8 left for armor save, which is 3 die ranks, D8. And then he's at 5 die ranks Grievous wounds, so a big gaping spear puncture, an impalement by a spear. And he's at 5 vitality. He has that left, hit points. He has 5 hit points left. So I really like that they can figure that out. They can decide that, in this desperate moment of this horrible, it's not just an insta kill. You have an agency and not dying, near death's door. So she performed a Miracle of Healing, but the Miracle of Healing is against 5 die ranks, right? So, and a Miracle of Healing is the one special blessing where you can add in all other factors. You can add in Bless, Inspired Die, Resting, Blanket, mothering, healing skills, everything, because it's such a desperate, you know, to save somebody. And it's better to do it not in combat, because you can add in all the resting and healing and mothering. But if it's in combat, which is it is, she has to do it quickly, and so she doesn't get all those bonuses, but she can certainly get some. She can do her inspired die. She can get blessed by the Arthur, the monk or the priest there. To try to save him, and he has a 5 die rank grievous wound. So I'm going to roll the 5 die ranks, which is a D12, and add it to the default difficulty of 12, which I was warning them about. And of course, Luis Vincenzo's player was like, he's going to roll high, he's going to roll a 12, it's going to be so hard, you guys, and they're all, well, he might roll a 1. So if you can look over here, I end up rolling, and this is me. I think I had them selected when I rolled it. Right here, I rolled an 11. So 11, I was like, ah! So that ends up being 11 plus 12 is a 23. So for her miracle of healing to work on him, she had to roll above a 23, and a lot above a 23, because you want to roll a die rank result, right? You want to roll, she wants to roll a 33 to get and then that's 10 over the 23. So that's half of that. That's 5 die ranks. So that would have cured, miraculously cured, his wound was not really a wound, or God saved him, or whatever. The blessing is not, so, wow. So Sister Maria here, she pulls it off, man. It took them like 10 minutes to figure this all out. Now, does that sound fun for a game? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed them like trying to figure all this out in this, it's a split second horrific thing where he gets impaled and she does a miracle of healing and he saves himself with his armor. It's a split second thing in the game, but it was great because even I couldn't just come up and just automatically kill someone. Because they're Christians, they have this opportunity to save each other, to work together and come up with a miracle and a blessing. And I really enjoyed it. I really like the way this played out, and the way you Christians do have this hope for each other to save each other during these harrowing moments. So it was good though, because very few in my games, very few of them die, but I love that it's right there though. They all know it's there. They all do everything they can to save each other, but they don't have like 80 hit points. They don't have like a superhero character. They're all still within that range of their hit points, their vitality, and a nat. Any minion can come up and do a nat 20, and get that fatal blow in there, right? That can happen to anyone, and I love that because that's true in real stories in real life. If you want a real adventure, your characters have to be able to get near death's door a lot, because he even got close to dying too. In this game, that was crazy. Anyway, so she rolls, she gets all their die ranks together. They figured out the blessings, the inspired die, and I thought it was too low. What she only had 2 d12s. She could have had 3 d12s with all the extra stuff. And I suggested you should do 3 d12 because you really want to get the two 7s and explode the dice. But they went with the 2 d12, so I'm like, okay. But she rolled a 16 on the d20 and a 12. She got a total of 31. So that wasn't 33, but it was 31. So a 31 is 8 above the number needed, right? 23, 31 is 8. So that's 4 die ranks. So she saves him 4 die ranks. His armor is still at D8, so he's still in it. He survived a maximum damage spear impalement because of the miracle of healing and because of his armor took some of the damage of that miracle of healing, or that Grievous, that attack. So he's still in it, but again, they're getting worn down, beat down by these attacks. His armor is less is worn down now, which makes sense in a story. And then he ends up the next turn. The Arthur ends up healing his vitality. What did he do? Oh, he did 4. So he heals him up 4 more. Because he rolled a d12. He put 5 faith points in it. Got a d12 and rolled a 4. So that was good. Still he's up 9 now. Let's see. He's up to 11 now. And then this guy is here fallen. He ended up doing a rebuke on him, and this guy is completely messed up. Let me put that down. Rebuked severely. That minus something, -2 or something. So that was an amazing, harrowing thing and the grievous wounds, using the armor to save oneself from a grievous wound matters in this game, because he's the tank. He's the only warrior, so he's got to take the hits, and his armor works. I'm a medieval armor combat dude, and armor works, and armor can take the damage in a lot of cases. And we have a lot of armor fails, by the way, when we're fighting, which is from getting hit, getting yanked at, getting torn up, the straps and stuff. So that's what happened here. His stuff got torn up. It saved him from a huge wound from the spear impalement, and of course miracle of healing helped him, and that's part of the Christian faith and part of the history of it too. So this is just a incredible, I think, game system that I really enjoy. So yeah, what a blast. Anyway, so that's my little video here on that. I'm kind of exhausted right now from watching it. I rewatched it this morning, and I'm talking about it now. And of course, next he's actually going to try to preach to them and see if he can get them to chill. But yeah, man, that was the amazing little combat here, and pretty exciting. And I'm hoping to do definitely more. It's all about evangelism and church planning and converting the bad guys, but we do want and need dungeon delving, dungeon crawls and adventure. So I'm definitely going to develop a lot more of that in the game, just because it's fun, and I understand we want fun. But what I don't like about role-playing games is that they remove Christianity, they remove that truth from the games, and keep the paganism. You can worship any god, just not Jesus. Of course, the history of fantasy is the struggle between Christians and pagans, and the main reason that paganism today is a fantasy is because of us Christians. We turned them into stories, into fun stories. The Grimm brothers are Christians. Were Christians. Most of the mythology of Greek was gathered together by Christian historians, and we turned them into stories because they were not stories before. They were religious before. They were warnings and threats and plays of power upon people. It was us Christians who said, hey, this is entertaining, let's take it and turn it into fun entertainment. But the problem is today, pagans and witches and all that are using RPGs as gateways into their religion. They're using it to change the culture and affect children, and we Christians are not doing, we don't have a response to that in the RPG culture. And so that's why I'm doing this. That's why I want evangelism in there in this story, and I want paganism to be shown for what it is. It's slavery, it's human sacrifice. All of them are. They end up being that way. I don't care how nice they act. They end up, some pagan today said there's no human sacrifice, and I said, is abortion the murder of a child? And he didn't respond, because abortion is every pagan believes in abortion, woman's health care. So yes, they still have human sacrifice, absolutely. They're hiding it. They're hiding it. They're lying to you and themselves, but they have human sacrifice. So come and enjoy Four Load RPG, all you Christians. An amazing, fun game with evangelism and church planning, and it's based on Earth because the Bible is a interwoven story of Earth, or human history and on Earth. So, but yet I'm working to make it fun and D&D-ish and OSR-ish, so that you can have these cool adventures and these cool dungeony things, but still have an earthbound, because it's biblically bound story with incredible creatures and monsters as well, but yet still anchored in the reality of Bible history and Earth history and church history. Okay, in the game of life, folks, gotta roll holy dice. Got to get that church back into the culture.